Great. So, a very warm welcome to all the audience, the attendees over here, and to Vishal Thakkar, to you as well. And we are glad that we are meeting on this very important deliberation, which is going to happen on HR reckoning. So before this audience, let me just take you through the brief profile about what InnoServe Group of Company does. So we are a community, and basically we are representing the four communities in general. Through ADMH, we are representing the communities of healthcare. Through digital HR, we are representing the communities of HR. Through ASMA, we are representing the communities of academia, and SMX represent the sales and marketeers community. Digital HR is what I'll be briefing you about. This is the community platform for HR professionals. We represent more than 8,000 HRs, and we have 10 city chapters. It is a community platform for HR professional, and digital HR is a leading community for HRs aiming for digital transformation and innovations in HR practices. Digital HR is the community around digital transformation of HR services and processes bought by InnoServe Group. Through this, we are helping the HR professional learn, understand, and use digital technologies to drive the business objectives in HR. Among its many applications, one most important focus area is that we have identified at HR that digital employer branding has tremendous impact on the entire value chain. The picture which you are just seeing left of the screen is the kind of webinars which we keep on organizing, focusing on separate sectors. This was the webinar of healthcare industry we have just concluded yesterday. Few more webinars which we have focused on industry specific, on e-commerce we have done, on IT, ITS, on banking and finance. Apart from organizing webinars, which could be a hosted webinar or which could be a collaborated webinar, we have another initiatives called as masterclass. Now, these masterclass are depending upon the kind of topic which focuses on a very niche audience, and we have a program fee for it. And we do offer a certain discounting on during the COVID season who want to attend this masterclass program, and you are also awarded with certain the attendance certificate and the completion certificate, which might be useful in the coming employment opportunity wherever you apply for it. And the left hand side, one more creative you can see, the Leadership Reset 2030. This is the initiative for our article series. So we engage with the industry thought leaders who are catering into the HR sector. We encourage them and invite their participation by sharing their views in form of articles. And we promote this article format on our digital HR portal and through the social media, so that it reaches the right stakeholder and they get benefited out of it. Just this slide just shows you our digital handles of digital HR and the website. You please be connected and stay tuned with all the updates what is happening on the digital HR community and forum. You may reach us out through the screen. You can see our contact details and email IDs. Mr. Rahul Jain, he is the MD of InnoServe Group. Mr. Ritesh D, he is the director of InnoServe Group and director of digital HR. I Chandan Anand, I'm the vice president of InnoServe Group and digital HR. So it is an immense pleasure to announce you the free webinar today. We are talking on HR reckoning, transforming the budgeting and bottom line numbers. We are glad that we have Mr. Vishal Thakkarji with us. He will be having a very nice deliberation, and he will be updating us with the insights and thoughts. Let me just brief you about the speaker profile. Mr. Vishal Thakkar is the author and mentor of Finance and Non-Finance, co-founder of Confrera Universal. He has more than 14 years of hands-on experience in coaching, mentoring leaders. He has made his mark in the finance and education space and aims to empower people while helping them solve their financial challenges. As co-founder of Confrera Universal, Mr. Thakkar heads the training division and is actively involved in consulting and digital media marketing as well. Mr. Thakkar is certified chartered accountant. He also holds the master's degree in commerce and MBA in finance. He was the owner of director of Brianna Knowledge Resource Private Limited, a corporate training company in the financial domain. He is also the Global Family Managed Business faculty at SP Jain School of Global Management, an IFRS expert, and has authored many books in the finance field, and the owner of Finance YouTube channel. We are glad to have you, Mr. Vishal Thakkar, today. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chandan, for that wonderful introduction. It is amazing to come back again and speak to my own fraternity. Although I am from finance domain, but a lot of people come back and tell me that, Vishal, are you sure that you are from finance domain? Because majority of your friends come from HR fraternity. I said, you know what? I discovered my purpose of life a little later than when I should. After I had super specialization in my finance, I realized that my real purpose of life lies in transforming lives of the people through learning and development. And hence, out of the total 14,000 connections that I may have on LinkedIn, 75% of them are from HR and learning space. So guys, if you want to connect more with HR friends, connect with me. I am a bridge who connects HR through finance. And of all the sessions that I take in my college for college students, for corporates across India, Asia, Middle East, Far East, even in the Caribbean islands, I just recently finished a session in Caribbean. I have seen that I am most excited and I am very happy when I get an opportunity to address HR people. Why? Simply because I believe they are my own family, and I believe that if in this entire scheme of business scenario and corporate world, if there is one catalyst which keeps the wheels of the business moving, it is HR. And I am not trying to flatter people. These are my genuine feelings which I have expressed time and again at various forums. Friends, today I welcome you all with folded hands and I say namaste. Yes, Corona taught us to do namaste other than handshake. And also, I am able to talk to far more people than I would usually do in a classroom setup where 15 or 20 people turn up. I am happy that all of you turn up in large numbers to attend my webinars. I am also happy to see that a lot of video testimonials have been flowing back to me saying that, Vishal, I did not hear too much, but I picked up that one line from your webinar and I ended up implementing it and it created so much of benefit for me. So friends, the idea is keep your notepads and pen ready. If you are a little old fashioned, if you are very tech savvy, just click on the sticky notes on your laptop. And if you are on your mobile phone, you can pull out the notes. I'm going to share some 5 or 6 critical tips in whatever 40-45 minutes window period is available to me on how HR can transform lives of people and organizations by sharpening their financial axe. So, having said that, friends, are we all ready to go on a wonderful journey of finance transformation? If all of you are ready, please type yes in the chat window. Okay, Nikhil is ready. Oh, very quickly, so many people are ready. So, without much ado, let's begin our transformation journey. Okay, so here we are. Put your cell phone on silent, avoid all distractions, use the headphones and pay undivided attention to the most important 1 hour of your life. The bottom line thought process is what I say. Making an impact on organization's bottom line. What are you saying, Vishal? Are you out of your mind? I'm the HR guy. I'm not the finance guy. How am I going to make any impact on organization's bottom line? Can HR make any impact on organization's bottom line? I mean, can HR make it? Yes or no? I don't know. I'm confused. I need answers from you guys. Can you make any impact on the bottom line? Okay, Nikhil says yes. Juma says yes. What kind of impact? Positive one or the otherwise? Nadia says yes. Radha says of course. Rima says yes. Sandhya says why not? Yes, we can. A definite yes. So if we have to make an impact on organization's bottom line, what do we need to do? Let's see. The agenda of the webinar is very clear. What are the top 3 priorities post-COVID? 3 secrets of the boardroom I'm going to share with all of you. Why finance? I'm going to tell you 4 key reasons. How can HR deliver profits? Can HR deliver profits? Yeah, they can deliver profits. But how? So short formulas for profit delivery. What are the key HR matrices? How will the HR get measured in financial terms? And most importantly, what is your action plan? I say just do it. You know, I'm a big fan of Nike shoes. I don't know. They should start paying me some royalty because I promote them every webinar. And finally, how can we help? So this is a crisp 6-point agenda. Let us quickly go to the first point. What are the top 3 priorities post-COVID? What do the top guys want? What are the key performance indicators for CEO and CFO? Can anybody tell me? Can anybody tell me? What are the key performance indicators of your company's CEO and CFO? कौन बताएगा? Please type in the chat window. Please type in the chat window. Revenue generation, profit, making money, working capital, budgeting, lower cost, number, brand value, profit, revenue, EBITDA, cash flow, bottom line, margins, lead factors, profits, ROI, profitability, company branding, share value, resource management, revenue generation, financial management. Very good. Very good. Let's see. Increasing revenue, reducing cost, generating cash. The top 3 KPIs of CFOs and CEOs is to increase revenue, reduce cost, generate cash. Happy employees, brand value, attrition rate, EBITDA, of course. Achieving the EVA, Ramchandra Rao says, achieving the EVA as targeted, economic value added. Yes, very rightly said, very rightly said. So now the most important question is, can HR help in achieving these objectives? Can human resource help their CEOs and CFOs achieving these objectives? क्या आप लोग मदद कर सकते हो? Can you guys help? Surbhi says she can't hear me. Is it that everybody is not able to hear me, or only is it Surbhi? Okay, you can help. You can help. You can help. Yes, all of us can help. But golden question is how. Once what and why is clear in life, we need to focus on how. Let's see how. Before that, we need to know why finance. Let's look at why finance. Finance is the lifeblood of business. You know, I want you guys to do this activity. I want you guys to do this activity very quickly. You can see my big screen. Take your left hand. No, I'm not promoting any political party. Just look at my left hand, and then I'm putting my right thumb on my left hand right here, and I'm going to press my thumb on my hand for 15 seconds. For 15 seconds, okay? And I want you guys to do this with me. All of you, take your right hand, put your left hand, put your right thumb on your left hand's nerve and press it as hard as you can. Start now. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Now look at your hand. What is happening? What is happening? Do you experience some numbness? Do you see it has gone cold? Do you see it changes color? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Please type in the chat window. Why is the color of your hand changing? Why is there some kind of numbness or feeling like this? Or why suddenly it went cold? Why did it grow cold? Why did the color change? Why was, lack of flow, Juma says. Lack of blood flow. Similarly, in an organization, finance is blood. Finance is the blood. If blood circulation stops, then there is a problem. If you do this for 15 minutes, your hand will turn blue. If you do this for 1 hour, you will stop feeling your hand. If you do this for 4 hours, you will lose your palm permanently. So don't do this for extended period of time. Similarly, in whichever areas of your business, money supply agar low ho gaya, if the vitamin M goes low, your business is in trouble. And hence you need to ensure that you are able to hold on to the vitamin M, especially in the HR department, right? All the KRAs are financial numbers. All you HR guys are important people who tracks the KRAs and KPIs of people. Yes or no? Have you ever wondered that all of these are numbers? Something divided by something is someone's KRA. Yes or no? Yes or no? Every KRA is a number. And if that is the case, what is the second best qualification that a finance guy should have? Second best qualification, HR guy should have. The first best qualification is HR. The second best qualification is finance. So friends, if that is the case, then there is merit in learning finance. HR takes major financial decisions. Do you agree? Do you agree? The HR folks takes the most important financial decisions of the company. Yes or no? Recruitment, searching, hiring, onboarding, PF, ESIC documentation, allotting office space, giving laptop, compensation planning, variable component, appraisal, promotion, retirement, retrenchment. All the decisions are financial decisions. Yes or no? Do you agree that HR people take major financial decisions? Do you agree? Today, organization Infosys, today's organization, TCS, even Reliance now. Previously, the machinery in Jamnagar was the most valuable asset. Now it's the human resource which is becoming most valuable asset. What is important for Infosys? Laptop or engineer? Can you tell me? Can you tell me? For Amazon, for Facebook, for Flipkart, for Twitter, for all these guys, Walmart, who are important? Who are important? People. 1/3, 33% of total cost of a manufacturing company today also is people cost. Hence, if you are responsible for 1/3 of the pie, imagine what happens if you take all the right decisions. You will take your organization to the next level. Shaoli says engineer is more important for Infosys than laptop. In 2010, when Dr. Stephen Covey was alive, he said that there is something wrong with our accounting system. Because for a company like Infosys, laptop is balance sheet asset side. Engineer is P&L debit side. Salaries and wages. Engineer का तो कोई अस्तित्व नहीं है. There is no identity. A laptop is given a serial number. Engineer has no identity. Employee code. He says that people are not motivated to work in today's setup because the accounting systems are still of industrial age. If machines are assets and people are expenses, motivation will never come in the company. Hence, HR has to marry finance to bring the necessary motivation which is required. Since we take all the financial decisions, if we start taking the right financial decisions, we change the world. Top 3 skills, HR and finance are 2 of the top 3 skills needed to be at the top. If you want to become the top guy, there's another question that I always wonder, since I have people like Ashish, Danesh, Vaishali, Disha, Meena here today. I want to know that a natural choice in old days for a next CEO was national sales head. ध्यान से सुनना भाई आशीष. Natural choice for the next CEO was national sales head. In today's time, naturally the CFO becomes the next CEO. I want to know, when will HR head become the next natural choice for becoming the CEO? Why can't we see many HR heads becoming CEOs? Why is that not the trend? Any answers there, folks? Any answers there, folks? HR CEO naturally क्यों कंसिडर नहीं होता है? मैं ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा हूं कि HR CEO नहीं बन सकता है या बनता नहीं है. I can give you a few examples. In fact, in India also I can give you examples. But my point is, he or she is not considered to be the natural successor to be the next CEO. Why? Please get the question right. Because if HR becomes CEO, 90% of the company's problem gets solved. According to me, this is my personal opinion. Because CEO is not people oriented and hence they don't look at it from that point of view. But we say leadership is the most important quality to become a CEO. And who can have better leadership qualities than the HR guys? Because he's a people's person, and to lead you should know how to handle people. I am not trying to play devil's advocate. I am just giving a logical thought flow. Because they do not like a business people and in terms of numbers, because of mind block that HRs are not good with. Surbhi, you have a point there. So is it that HR guys are banished from knowing numbers? Is it not that it can be an acquired skill for the HR? I mean, come on. How difficult is it to get friendly with numbers? Anyways, you deal with so many numbers. I will tell you, if there is a 50 paise difference in the payroll process of an employee in a company, he will escalate it right up to the HR head. So strictly speaking, financially, the HR guy has to be accurate to the last naya paisa. सैलरी में 50 पैसे का फर्क आया ना, आदमी राशन पानी लेके एचआर हेड तक जाता है. माय 50 पैसे यू डिडक्टेड globally. I'm not talking India, anywhere in the world you have a 50 cent difference in the payroll process and the nightmare comes. So HR guys who are doing payroll are already fairly accurate with numbers. Isn't that the case? Then what stops us from going at the top position? This is one important thought that I want you guys to ponder upon. HR are not given proper recognition. Their penetration into business and financial numbers is lesser. HR people narrow down their business with respect to financial numbers. But we don't. Purvatha Rajan, why? I mean, why won't be responsible for profits here? We are the guys. Unless you get the right set of people who can deliver profits, will your organization ever deliver profits? I completely disagree. People think that HR do not bring or drive business. I don't think so, Danesh. Today, I will show you tens of hundreds organization where HR is driving maximum business value. Correct. Yes, Mr. Muthu Kumaram, that is true globally, not just in Malaysia or India. So think about it. Here is your opportunity to break the norm and aim for the top position. How can HR deliver profits? This is the right question to ask if we are aiming the top position. Let's see. What is the biggest roadblock to your company's profitability? Can I have a few answers? What is the biggest roadblock to your company's profitability today, right now as we speak? Yes, Elaine, you are on dot. They study the finance. Correct. Efficiency, people mindset, people productivity, cash flow, high fixed cost, having right resources who will optimize your process, cost management, right resource, connectivity to the market, sluggish market, people management. Let's pick one issue of sluggish market. The most depressing number came out last week when they said that India has reported the highest fall of 24% in its GDP for the quarter. And all these pundits and experts were shouting over the rooftop that US has fallen 9.9%, India has fallen the most. What does it mean? What does it mean? It's a quarterly number, okay? It is not even annualized. Secondly, I am wondering, okay, now listen to me very carefully. Across the world, all the services companies, even the product companies, have, thanks to Corona, got huge savings in rent. Office rent, huge savings. Transportation, huge savings. Electricity, huge savings. Internet, huge savings. Canteen cost, huge savings. Security cost, huge savings. I agree that revenues have fallen, but not for everyone. 60% of India's GDP comes from services sector. We are no longer an agriculture economy. We are a services economy. Of the 60%, 35% comes from IT and ITES. IT and ITES. IT is information technology. ITES is information technology enabled services. All these guys have worked from home. One of my dear friend who is an engineer with Google, he sent out a picture of his bedroom window where Google gave him a nice wooden table, a lamp, a laptop, and accessories to make his new office. And all of these guys are going to work from home. Plus, instead of all the benefits that they got, instead of passing these benefits to employees, they have actually reduced the salary. 5 lakh CTC brought down to 3 lakh CTC. So they have got huge saving in employee cost also. Another thing which our government is shouting over the rooftop is that 22% of our GDP which comes from agriculture. No farmer has rested during COVID. First for harvesting in March, then for sowing in May, and now for tilling and putting fertilizers in June and July. Everybody has worked. So agriculture is doing good. My mathematics might be slightly weak, but tell me 60% services, 22% agriculture, which means 82% of our economy was working properly during the COVID period. Yes or no? Also, oil, which is 85% of our import bill today, the consumption of oil has gone down drastically, which means it has led to further savings. Now, I don't know why people are saying sluggish market, bad economy. All those guys who are selling luxury products, unnecessary stuff, they have all gone out of business. Is it only that the economy runs for those people? What about the people who have benefited? Trust me guys, we are at an inflection point. इंडिया का क्वार्टरली जीडीपी जितना गिरा है उतना बड़ा वी शेप रिकवरी आएगा. नहीं आया तो आई एम हियर, यू कैन ऑलवेज राइट बैक टू मी ऑन ट्विटर सेइंग दैट विशाल यू प्रेडिक्टेड इट वेंट रॉन्ग. So you need to understand things in proper perspective. Fear is a good business to be in, but the guy who sells fear will soon be out of his business because you cannot sell fear for too long. Take a pause and reflect. What is happening around you? They have programmed your mind to be negative. Shake off that negativity. I have tens of thousands of my friends and relatives who suffered from COVID, came back, and they are back in business. One of them just posted a picture yesterday evening that he bought a new E250 Mercedes. And he gave credit, thanks to COVID, my business shot up so much. I worked from home. I was able to buy new Mercedes. Another guy who is making all the money in COVID period is मुकेश अंबानी. डेटा इज द न्यू ऑयल. जामनगर का फैक्ट्री बंद पड़ा है, जियो में स्टेक बेच के कितना पैसा खड़ा कर लिया. Silver Lake and Vista Partner and Facebook, and the latest deal is saying I am going to give away 40% of my business to Amazon. The guy is doing phenomenal, man. What does it mean for us? It means that we need to cultivate that mindset, bring in numbers. Yes, Surbi, I fully agree. If you are owning a mall or a theater or a travel company or a resort or a hotel or a restaurant, you are hit badly. But what percentage of all those is our economy? I am saying 18% of our economy is hit very badly. बंद हो गया, दुकान बंद, ताला लग गया. But you see how innovative these 18% people are. Many hotels converted themselves into COVID facilities and they were charging people to stay there. So they made money. All the restaurants have started doing delivery. Zomato is about to file an IPO. Guys, early exit for Zomato investors. They are going to file an IPO now. खाली food delivery करके IPO तक पहुंच गए. So, you know, Indigo today is amongst the top 10 airlines in terms of EBITDA in the world. Today morning's news has reported. हर सेक्टर में कुछ लोग बर्बाद हुए, कुछ लोग आबाद हुए. चॉइस आपको करना है, आबादी वाली साइड जाना या बर्बादी वाली साइड जाना. I am not a motivational speaker. I talk hard numbers. Okay. Now let me tell you what is the biggest roadblock to your company's profitability. Ignorance. Ignorance by many people of how the company makes money, how it achieves its objectives, and how all functions are interdependent. दिल पे हाथ रख के, put your hand on heart, look into the mirror and answer yourself. Are you clear about the business model of your company? मेरे को जवाब नहीं देना. I am not looking for the answer. Kushal, these facts that I have said on this webinar are not reported in any newspaper. Newspaper is too busy covering what is happening in politics and who is doing this and who is doing that. People who are really worried about their own job profile, people who are worried about their growth, they keep themselves away from papers. I am telling you. How many of you know the business model of your company accurately? If I were to ask you, okay, write down your business model of the company in flat 4 lines and send it to me as an email, how many of you can do it? If you can do it, great. You are HR, no? How many of your company's people can do it as accurately as you can? That's another question that I have. Are your people clear about the revenue model? Do they know what work they do and how it impacts the company's progress in terms of numbers? Think about it. Think about it. Here are some key HR statistics. 53% of employees are not happy at work because they just come, they do whatever they are asked to do and they leave. They don't know what the company is doing. They don't know whether the company is alive, it's dead. Their only motto in life is to give hands and legs to the company. Brain has to be kept outside. 79% of employees quit due to lack of appreciation because they don't know whether they are contributing positively to the company or no. So they don't feel appreciated and hence they leave. The cost of losing a talented resource is anywhere between 16 to 20%. Think before you fire someone, because you are going to need this guy exactly 6 months from now when the economy is going to take a U-turn. In fact, economy has taken a U-turn which you don't know. The lag of it will come to you 6 months later and you will realize, oh my God, the guy has joined the competitor. I let him go 6 months ago. Now I am in trouble. 10% of employees are overworked. They are not taking leaves. They are working too hard even from home just to save their jobs. These guys also will become counterproductive because they will feel that I am working myself off and my company is not appreciating me. 33% is your employee cost to the total operating cost. And the steering wheel is in your hand right now. If you can handle this, you can deliver profits. If you cannot handle this, then you are in trouble. As they say in Hindi, Mr. Surya, Nazar hati, durghatna ghati. Take your eyes off and meet the accident. That exactly happens when you are not focused on numbers, especially the HR numbers. And hence, Peter Parker's uncle has aptly said that with great power comes great responsibility. So let's see. What are the solutions? What are the key HR measures? We have 3 types of measures: performance measure, welfare measure, and learning and development measure. So as HR, these are the 3 key areas of finance which you must look at: the efficiency ratio, the recovery rate, the revenue per employee. How do you calculate? We'll see it. Welfare measure: what is the capacity utilization of people? What is the attrition rate? What is the leave utilization ratio? I had a very big HR head coming to the very basic and saying that attrition rate is too high in our company. We got to do something about it. And when I asked him, this gentleman, in the Q&A session, how do you calculate attrition rate? Which number we divided by which number multiplied by which number is attrition rate? He had no answer. Such a senior guy could not answer me the basic. Leave utilization ratio. Which 2 numbers are to be taken to calculate leave utilization ratio? Leaves accrued upon leaves taken or leaves taken upon leave accrued? Most people have no clue. Why? Because they have read this somewhere, they picked up this jargon from the internet and they just throw it on people's faces in fancy company webinars these days where they don't wear full pants. Trust me, these guys have no clue. Their knowledge about finance is as long as the length of their bottom wear. And I'm saying some harsh facts. If you feel bad, I'm sorry about it. But there are people out there who don't understand the head or tail of financial numbers relating to the HR domain. Coming to how to reduce 25% of your company's budget, as well as boosting 25% of people's productivity in the post-COVID world. If you stay until the end, I'm going to give you a special gift only to those who are going to stay right up till the end of this webinar. Curious about what it could be? Hang on. About me, Chandan has already introduced, so I'm skipping this slide. But I can tell you that I have enough credentials to make friends with you. And I don't need to prove myself to become your friend, hold your hand and guide you through the financial journey in the HR domain. How would you feel if all your people were highly skilled in finance? Tell me quickly. How would you feel if all your people were highly skilled in finance? Sandhya says great. Abhi says good. Great. Data will be strong. Ideally desirable. Kaushal says worried. Why worried? Will feel happy and appreciate. After they know, understand HR fully, it will be great support to businesses' profitability. They will act correctly to our assets. Alignment in thoughts. MIS data is very strong. Veena says not sure. Everything can be handled easily once you know finance, is what Eileen says. How easy would it be to take right business decisions for your company? If all your people would know finance, how easy would it be to take right decisions for your business? Numbers on the fingertips. Veena says too many cooks spoil the broth. People will be busy, easy to empower. It will boost accountability. Paruvat Rajan says yes. Kusha says extremely great. How budgets can be made accurately and followed diligently? If all your people knew finance, how budgets could be made accurately and followed diligently? Nina says will be very easy. Sandhya says brainstorming. Kushal says fast but. Dr. Maninder Kaur says appreciable towards belonging to company's vision. Yes, that's a very, very valid point raised there. Common myths. Let us bust a few common myths. How many of you think that finance guys are enough to take care of company's budget? How many of you feel that finance guys are enough to take care of company's budget? Yes, friends? Priyanka says the business loss will be less. Compare workload and available manpower. Prakash says, okay. Divya says no. Kushal says no. Kusha says no. Mugdha says no. Anupam, not really. So. Meena says, Nikhil says no. Mixed group. Satya Devi says no. Dhanesh Kumar says no. Nagaraju says yes. Vaibhav says not enough. Obviously not fully. Can says. Okay. Have you paid more money thinking that more productivity would be achieved, but it didn't? While hiring, friends, have you faced this? HR engagement needs budget. Finance will never allot. That's the precise reason why they are not enough, Veena. If we look at hard, cold numbers without human element, we are inviting disaster. At the same time, we only look at making people happy, ignoring the numbers, we will also invite disaster. So a successful organization is a fine balance between making people happy and achieving the numbers. Yes, most of the company got bankrupt because of financial irregularity. Yes, sir, I faced that. Yes, a lot of people have faced this. Okay. After training for 16 years, I realized that most financial decisions are taken by non-finance people in the company. Do you agree? Start from procurement. What to buy, when to buy, how much to buy, how to ship, where to ship. Marketing, what to sell, how much to sell, which brand to promote, how much expense to be done on which brand. Sales, how much discount to be given, what should be the delivery term, what to sell, how much to sell. Production, what to produce, how much to produce, where to store, what to do. HR, whom to hire, how to hire, what to hire, how much to pay, whom to promote, how to promote, when to promote. All of these decisions are financial decisions. Unfortunately, all of them are taken by non-finance people in the company. In fact, sometimes I feel surprised that the only guy who does not take any financial decision in the company is the finance guy. Every 3 months, he will come to all the non-finance guys and say, hey, look at the report card. This is how you non-finance guys fared in taking financial decisions. Wow, this is absolute absurd. I mean, you are asking all the passengers to fly a plane and the pilot is coolly sitting in the back seat. And after you land, hopefully, if at all you land, you are saying, oh, this is how you fared flying a plane. Isn't it a disaster? What about making sure that each job profiles financial element of KRA needs to be addressed? I am not saying that you hire chartered accountant for procurement, chartered accountant for marketing, chartered accountant for HR, chartered accountant for sales, chartered accountant for production. No. But I am saying procurement guy, whatever little financial decision comes in his domain, don't you think he should be aware? HR guy, first HR guy should be aware. If he is aware, he can enlighten everyone. If your candle is only not burning, how will you spread the light to others? Once the HR guy gets enlightened, he will enlighten other people. Procurement guy has to be procurement plus finance. Marketing guy has to be marketing plus finance. HR guy has to be HR plus finance. Hey, why do you think the modern universities are coming up with dual specialization? Are they mad? No, there is a need. The supreme objectives of finance sit right at the top. Because even in management theory, we learn that junior management gets operational control, middle management gets human control. It is only the top management which gets the financial control. So to be at the top, finance becomes the most important skill. Priyanka, you are right. So more money at times is lesser motivation to do more work. Also, every action has a financial reaction. Do you agree? I put that as my sticky note in the chat. Every action has a financial reaction. If you hire a wrong person, there is a financial reaction. If you hire a right person, there is a financial reaction. If you promote a wrong person, there is a financial reaction. If you promote a right person, there is a financial reaction. Whatever decisions that you take, and when you take action on each of your decisions, there is got to be a financial reaction, both in your personal as well as professional lives. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the first law of finance by C.A. Vishal Thakkar. Unlike you have 3 laws of motion by Newton, this is my humble attempt. So this is Vishal Thakkar minus the pride, saying that I also have propounded 3 laws of finance, and maybe some other day I will share my other 2 laws as well. But let's stick to the first law for today. But I learned all of this in a very hard way. Most people like me learn it in a hard way. They realize at the end of one full years that they could not meet the numbers. Since they couldn't meet the numbers, they also go soft on other people who wouldn't meet their numbers. It becomes a double whammy. You lose the money as well as you forego the productivity of the people. And this is a serious issue that HR folks are battling today in the post-COVID world. What does the world say? I'm going to show you 3 slides about what is happening in the world outside so that we can take some remedial measures. Job losses could be an issue. 52% of CEOs anticipate job losses in their respective sectors post-lockdown. 47% of the firms expect 15% job losses. Another 32% expect 15 to 30% of the job losses. This is a recent survey published by CII, Confederation of Indian Industry. And who is going to battle the issue of job losses? Yes. You and me. Yes, 2 of us, right? Major firms expect a decline, major decline in top line and bottom line. Majority of the firms are expecting the revenues to fall more than 10% and profits to decline more than 5% in the Q4. So the revenue growth numbers have already come out and they are very, very sad. So I don't want to discuss much. But yes, this is a serious problem. This problem cannot be shoved under the carpet. And we need to do something about the mindset of the very top people itself if we have to get the control of the situation. And if we as HR are not able to tackle this, our company is in for a deep trouble. Idle inventory, post-COVID, expect a demand to slow down. Yes, I'm already getting a lot of messages from the malls nearby that they have got absolute stock clearance sales. Whatever you can pay, you pay, but please take our stock. They have gone to that bad a situation. Because those items which were premium items, considered luxury items, are available at the prices of less than necessities. Still, people are not going. They are preferring to order online and they are happy with whatever they get. They sanitize the packet first, keep it outside in the sun for 3 days and then only use it. So if this is the case, overall consumption is going to go southward. Growth forecasts faces south. China, which was growing at 6%, goes below 5. World goes below 2. US goes below 1. Let's not talk about Europe. It is negative. So how many of you want a way out of this crisis? Just right. How many of you want a way out of this crisis? You can type I do. I mean, this is the second place where I'm allowing to type I do, other than the primary place where you would have or you would be doing it in future. Kushal says I want. Nina says I am. I do. We all want for sure. Veena said, yeah, okay. So friends, see, the way out is not easy. The way out is difficult, but I still have a way out. So what I am going to do is I'm going to share 3 secrets to break the loop. Okay. But before I give you the 3 secrets, I will ask you one question each. Before every secret, there will be one question. You answer the question, I will give you the secret. Okay. Are you ready? Let's go for it. Before that, yes, I forgot to mention the Chakravyu of failure. What is the Chakravyu of failure? Many people, many of my students, my participants, my HR friends who come to learn, I have realized that many times people learn finance, but they forget to apply. They're so busy learning and then they get back to their work that they don't apply. Many people, they learn, they apply, but they fail to review. You applied, but you never reviewed that whether it worked or didn't work. Many others, they learn, they apply, they review. They also identify the gaps between, desired position and the actual position, but they fail to make the action plan to bridge the gap. Okay. Many people, they learn, they apply, they review, they make an action plan, but then they fail to take action. Why? Because they were so busy in the everyday work that they never got a time to follow their action plan. Then there are many people who learn, they apply, they review, they identify the gaps, they make an action plan, they also take action, but they are one night wonders, like Arvind Swamy of Bollywood, or Rahul Roy of Bollywood. When they came in with a bang. They were super success. In 90s, way back, you remember? Rahul Roy with the first Ashiki movie. Where is he now? Nowhere to be seen. One night wonder, man. They are not consistent. So only and only if you guys are really serious about breaking the myths and solving the financial challenges as an HR person in your company, I will tell you the 3 secrets, or else you may continue to live the way you are living. So are you really serious? If you are really serious, then type RS in the chat window. Type RS in the chat window. Really serious, type RS. Really serious, type RS. Okay, Veena is really serious. Kushal, Meena, Divya, Nikhil, Mugdha, Nadia, Ketki, Amit, Juma, Priyanka, Brinda, Kamaljit, Murli, Nikhil, Prakash, Satya, Saumi, Eileen, Danesh, Sanjay, Anupam, Ashish, Akhilesh, Lovely, Rima, Vaishali, Divya. Okay, okay, okay. I am glad to see that out of about 100 people here today, at least 30-40 of them are really serious. Oh, Pavitarajan, I have not forgotten your name. It came so fast. Kankan, Prachi, Ramchandra. Okay, everybody, since you guys are really serious, let's go ahead with secret number 1. Here comes question number 1. How many of you feel that specialization in one domain is enough for your success? How many of you feel that specialization in one domain is enough for your success? Divya says no. Kusha says no. Amit says no. Ramchandra says not really. No, not enough. Mugdha says. Disha says no. Sandhya says no. Prakash says no. Prachi says no. Nikhil says no. Srinivasa Murthy says no. Satya Devi says not really. Not enough. Not enough. I don't. The more you know, the better for you. Not really. Ritu says then why not? Swami says no, it isn't. Not enough. Not enough. Not satisfied. Okay. Great. So here is the secret number 1. HR plus finance is equal to assured leadership. For a leading automobile company called Mahindra, we help them achieve a double-digit profit margin. How? With the help of HR folks. The entire HR team supported us in creating financial awareness across 1,500 frontline salespeople. Once the HR guys learned how operating profit is calculated, how it is important, and why giving away too much of freebies to the automobile dealers was eroding the profit of Mahindra and Mahindra, they took up a mission which lasted for 1.5 years. I worked very closely with the HR team and we identified each and every aspect, right up to the engineer's delivery, to the used oil, to the service revenue, to the insurance margin, to the registration fees of a vehicle, all the revenue sources of a dealer, and we identified and we brought the margin to double digit. In all the Mahindra offices, there are 10 commandments pasted in every cubicle by the HR. And the first commandment was to achieve double digit profit margin by 2020. You can open the annual report. It's a public document that they have a double digit profit margin. Okay, secret number 2. How many of you think more training will solve the problem? Here comes question number 2. Question number 2. How many of you think that more training, only training, all problems solved by training? How many of you feel that ways? Do training, problem will get solved? How many of you feel that ways? Okay, Madhushi says yes. Not really. No, no. Hands-on training. No, 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 no. No, training alone is not enough. Not necessary. No, no. Very true. Very true. Very true. Very true. Only training is not going to solve the problem. Only training is not going to solve the problem. Training plus implementation plus review plus action plan plus consistency is equal to assured success. Training alone cannot help. You have to bring in training plus implementation plus review plus action plan plus consistency to get the assured success. For a Middle East conglomerate run by Indian origin people, we created an entire dashboard. This is a large company which has got hypermarkets all across Middle East, and we work very closely with them for all their businesses to create a financial dashboard with the help of HR folks. It was the HR who identified the need. They worked with us very closely for 9 months. Here comes secret number 3. How many of you feel that it can be managed from within the company? How many of you feel that it can all be managed from within the company? Come on, friends. How many of you feel this way? Sandhya says yes. No. Disha says no. Kusha says yes. Ramchandra Rao says yes. Yes, it can. Prakash says no. Divya says yes. Saumi says yes. To some extent. Jay Parvat Ranjan says yes, I prove it. Satya says not exactly. Some outside help is needed. Can be. We need an outlook. Not all the time. Yes. With cross-functional teams, yes. Yes. Up to a great extent, it can be. Nikhil says no. Okay. Financial experts plus HR domain knowledge is equal to perfect growth partners. You would need some kind of financial experts, not from inside the company, because whoever is inside the company, he is going to be a roadblock by saying, no, this is how what we used to do. This is the legacy. This is what we follow. Any new change that needs to be brought about, you need some kind of expert who is unilaterally trusted across the organization. For a chain of quick service restaurant, we built up performance matrices which were created, deployed, monitored, and converted into habit with the key executives. Only then we left. So what we did for them, we did the deep dive of every outlet. Even today we do that. We continue to do that. And then we handed it over to its people. So great, friends. Looking at the time, I'm coming to the fag end of my session. So far, so good. So far, so good. Are you guys enjoying? Are you guys enjoying? Okay, Dr. Ruby says yes. What about the others? Veena says absolutely. Divya says yes, 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 yes. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You guys are learning. I appreciate that. But there is a lot more to cover and too little time. So what I'm going to do, somebody also said no. Who said no? I want to see who said no. Where is the no guy? Let me know how I can make it better, my friend. I read it wrong. Everybody said yes. Oh, Nikhil said no. Correct. But that was for some other question, not for this. Nikhil said yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you an offer only for those guys who typed really serious. Okay. This is not for everyone. It is only for those guys who typed really serious about addressing the challenges of finance. And if you act fast, I'm going to give you an amazing deal. What is the deal? Before that, you should know that most people would still procrastinate and go to old ways of learning but not taking action. Many people would like to save pennies on upgrading themselves but are okay in losing lakhs in missed numbers. Only some of us proactively take action, sow the seed, and reap the benefit. Real freedom comes only when you take control over your numbers. Trust me, guys, if 1 hour of a session like this can enlighten you so much, if you learn more and if you learn in a journey, what will happen? Your numbers control your destiny, and I am sure you want to be in charge of your destiny. Don't consider this to be just another webinar that you are participating in. I want to share one small video of how we change the lives of people. You will be thrilled once you are able to meet your numbers, and you will in turn inspire others to do the same. Friends, I present to you a certificate program, one of its kind. Trust me, there is no certificate program for HR folks in finance domain. A certificate program on Power Finance for HR, a sure shot solution to financial challenges faced by the HR folks. What will you learn? Before I tell you what will you learn, I want you guys to have a look at one small video which is there. So I'm going to play a video now.
First of all, Vishal, thank you. It was a very, very valuable session. Initially, I felt it difficult to understand the concepts. Even though I'm a BCom graduate, I did it around 20 years back. But then it was, initially it felt a little difficult. But then when I started going to videos, and I made each and every notes in my Excel sheet, because I knew that going forward I may not have the access. So every video that you spoke about, I made the notes of it, and I started murmuring over whenever I got time. Then in between, I got a little distracted with some family matters or stuff. Suddenly, then I saw this coming up. Then again went back. Actually, मैंने सब videos पहले देखे थे before your 4-hour session के पहले मैंने देखे थे, but I don't know, it didn't get recorded there. तो मुझे दोबारा देखना पड़ा. तो I spent 2 days and मैंने सारे videos देखे. It was, I would say, the entire learning pattern which you have kept in terms of the pre-test, post-test, this assessment is something. There's a lot of takeaways for me. Even though people अगर बोलते हैं ना, अगर दिल से पढ़ना चाहोगे तो ये बहुत अच्छा सेशन है. सेकंड, द वैल्यू फॉर मनी इज द हाईएस्ट व्हिच आई फील. मतलब द मनी दैट यू टुक इज, आई फील इट्स नथिंग फॉर द नॉलेज दैट यू गिवन अस. सो फॉर दैट, फ्रॉम मी, गॉड ब्लेस यू अ लॉट and you be successful in your life. And secondly, apart from you, I would also like to, I'm grateful to Tausif because usko maine kafi 3-4-5 बार परेशान किया, lot of other things, and he was very kind enough to guide me. So even the team that you have is a very good team, very positive team. So overall for me, Contentra is something that going forward I would like to work with you all. Right now I work for a mid-sized organization. With the current situation, I don't know how things would move, but yes, when we have brighter days and good days going in the organization, I would also like to have this program for all my employees too. So looking forward someday to work with you, Vishal.
Thank you so much for such a lovely feedback. I really appreciate. And only on one point which I want to say, about the fees. Really, we didn't want to charge the fees, honestly.
Yeah.
But if I don't charge anything, people don't take it seriously. So we said we'll charge token. Yeah. So the whole concept was to just take a token amount so that people will at least be serious. But फिर भी देखो, मैंने बहुत कम लोग serious होते हैं. But ठीक है यार, whoever is serious is getting value out of it. So that was the idea.
मतलब मुझे बोला, जो आपने knowledge दिया है वो आपका token money के सामने कुछ नहीं है. मतलब the kind of takeaway that I have for me, it's the token amount is nothing. So thank you so much for that.
So friends, that was a testimonial coming from an HR head of a mid-sized company. Now, let me tell you what will you learn if you come for this particular session. It's a unique blended learning program. It's on a platform called Blended Learning Track. It's a certificate program on Power Finance for HR. where we shall help you to navigate in this difficult time and also provide a roadmap of what should be done right now so that you can prepare to face the post-COVID-19 year. COVID has changed the way we operate business, and unless your business is financially strong, your business may have survived the lockdown but may not survive the aftermath. There are 8 key learnings, so stay with me and note them down. How can HR transform the 3 elements of business, that is people, process and policies, using finance during the lockdown? Number 2, how can we effectively conserve people and use cash during this time? Number 3, if you have excessive manpower, what you should do with that? Number 4, what can you do to survive such an unknown event anytime in future? How to make a financial disaster recovery plan for the HR leaders. Number 5, how to manage changes in business processes and manpower movements. Number 6, taking stock of your hiring, retention and compensation numbers in your business. Number 7, the triple bottom line, the new way your business should work on. And number 8, managing transitions and upskilling people for newer roles. Number 9, the bonus learning, the WFM policies and the financial impact of the same on business and people. This one was added after batch number 2 because most of the HR folks said that we want to have intelligent data being gathered on this new beast called work from home. Okay, now these are the key learnings. What will you get? Very quickly, 60-day access to the powerful blended learning journey. Now, this is a journey which is virtual journey and it is a blend. Okay, you got to have e-learning, books, the videos, the assessment, the projects, and the classroom where I will be your teacher. 1 hour of live webinar which is happening on next Saturday to get familiar with the powerful blended learning track. A best-selling book which I have authored, hard copy, we are going to courier it to your house so that you can read it, touch it, feel it. 5 ebooks which is inside our blended learning track addressing financial challenges faced by HR professionals. 1 pre-assessment to gauge the understanding of financial concepts. 5 powerful videos to grasp the intricacies of financial matrices relevant to the HR domain. 3 hours of live practical learning via a live webinar by experienced subject matter expert. This is going to happen next Saturday. 1 post assessment to map the progress of learning retention. We have spaced out the live sessions so that you can read the ebooks, you can do the assessment, you can watch the videos, you can capture the key learning, etc. Live project on HR ratios of all the 3 measures, the performance measure, the learning and development measure, and so on, for application of learning. 1 hour of live session for project review, feedback and graduation. So you are getting 3 webinars, 1 hard copy book, 5 ebooks, 2 assessments, 1 project, 5 videos. Project support group on WhatsApp for 60 days. We are going to add you to the WhatsApp group where you can get support from us any time of the day for 60 days. These are not the people in the group, these are just representative photographs. So, ye log sab nahi honge. I just thought of saying. And last but not least, a certificate which will be a new feather into your cap. If you secure more than overall 85% given your pre-assessment, post-assessment and project score, you will get a gold certificate. You will get a silver certificate if your score is between 85% and 65%. And you will get a completion certificate if your score is less than 65%. A lot of people ask me, Vishal, what is the value of this certificate? Let me tell you, first of all, there are no financial certifications for practicing HR folks. Number 2, I am issuing a certificate not after 1 but 2 but 3 assessments, which means the value of the certificate is very high, is based on the teaching pedagogy. Without assessment, if you issue a certificate, you can only issue a participating certificate, which is hardly of any value. but we are issuing a certificate after you studying for 60 long days. 60 days of training. This is not a master class. This is not a webinar. This is 60 days certification course. And all of these will result in direct cash flow benefit to you and your company. We are coming to the closure of this session. Thank you very much, all of you, for coming up and turning in the great numbers. Do keep coming and do keep learning. Thank you. Bye-bye and namaste from CA Vishal Thakkar from Mumbai, India. Bye.